You're listening to the My Simplified Life podcast, and this is episode number 297. Welcome to the My Simplified Life podcast, a place where you will learn that your past and even your present don't define your future. Regardless of what stage of life you're in, I want you to feel inspired and encouraged to pursue your dreams, simplify your life, and start taking action. I'm your host, Michelle Glogovac, author of How to Get On Podcasts, the podcast matchmaker, and CEO and founder of the MLG Collective. I'm excited to share the stories and life lessons of changemakers and authors with you while taking you on my own journey. This is My Simplified Life. Hello, my friend.
Hello, we're back.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. How are you?
I am.
You are.
Is
Exactly.
Is that an answer? Can that
is
be an answer?
Yes. It's like what people say, no is a complete sentence.
Yes.
I am is an complete answer.
Yeah.
Because
How are you?
And we are glad you are here this
How
day.
are you?
I am good. It's spring break. I love spring break. I love when my kids are home, but I have all these like hopes and dreams, right? Of like spending quality time with them, but also getting like fun work projects done and also getting house projects done. And with my ADD brain, it doesn't quite work that way. Like it's like one thing per day, you know? So I always feel a little scattered because I want to be able to do different things, but it's okay. It's been so fun having my boys home.
When it comes to work, do you try to front load, like get things done prior to the break?
In an ideal world, that is what my brain tells myself to do. I don't think it's ever happened, but I don't know if I've ever functioned like not by the seat of my pants, just last minute, which I don't love and don't recommend. I am trying to learn to love myself for where I'm at and the way my brain functions, but it is something that frustrates me. I would recommend front loading to people. I do not do it, but don't do what I do. Do what I say.
I love that. I say that all the time. I'll do a solo episode. I'm like, I'm preaching to you as much as I'm preaching to myself.
Exactly. Because I just, there's like so many different things I want to do, and I write lists and all these different things, and I just never am able to. I am accepting that I will never be one of those like poised women who is just really on top of things and not showing up to something completely flustered and sweating. I will show up to everything completely flustered and sweating, and everything is by the seat of my pants. And I mean everything, like television appearances, everything. Like it is, I do not prep well. So, and sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't, you just never know. So that's just who I am. And that's okay. That's okay. I'm
Poised and non-perspiring is overrated anyway.
It is. And at this point, I don't know that non-perspiring is something I'll ever achieve. Like as perimenopause is hitting, it's like just getting worse. So I was like, okay, well, this is just who I am. But I am a chaotic mess most days at the best of times.
No. And I love you just the way you are.
Thank you. I am, but it's okay. I am learning to accept it. I'm working on that. I feel like, and so many people talk about this, but we're our own worst bullies. Do you struggle with that as well? It's just feel like I think genuinely it tends to be more of a woman issue. You don't see men criticizing themselves constantly. Usually they're like, oh, look how great I am.
I mean, look at the government.
I did that. Exactly.
Let me flex my muscles on a text and tell you how awesome I am. And no, I didn't make a mistake and threaten national security.
Accidentally text out top secret war plans. No, of course.
Wasn't me.
I wouldn't. Whereas like a woman would be like, oh my gosh, I've got that, like we naturally dive onto bombs. We dive onto other people's bombs to take responsibility for them, and we are so hard on ourselves. And I, in particular, am such a bully to myself. And I would never speak that way about anybody else, but I am working on it. I'm working on being kinder. Like, okay, we did this. That's good. And we'll just we'll keep going. So it's a hard habit to break after 40 years of, internal negative dialogue, I think, and that's one of the aspects of getting diagnosed with ADHD later in life. I think a lot of women are coming to that conclusion and realizing like, oh, I'm not just like a lazy failure. I have like actual, like I'm neurodiverse. My brain works differently. And so then it's just like a total rewriting of like, who am I and how do I speak to myself kindly, in the midst of this. So anyway, that was a little tangent for the morning. I mean, are there tangents? I don't know that tangents exist in this space.
Not in this space.
We are tangents. This space is tangent land.
I love it. I love it.
Well,
you never know what's going to come up.
I know. Beautiful. How was your last week? How are you just in terms of life and everything? I mean, we know the world's a mess, so we can accept that.
Yeah.
And each day it's like watching a car crash.
It is.
But how are you with everything? Spring break is next week for you?
The week after next week.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so
later. Yeah. A little
is
bit
that
later.
In April?
Yes. First week of April.
Okay. Yeah. Is it always in April for you?
No, I don't want to. Yeah, well, yes, it is because we also have that ski week that is in February. They call it ski week here.
They give you guys a ski week. Mm-hmm. I live in Colorado and we don't even get a ski week.
It's weird. It's like every so many weeks they get a week off.
Oh, that's nice.
Not really.
Oh, okay.
It's really not that convenient.
As a working parent, if you're not working from home, even working from home, that's hard. That is really hard because you do want to be home and present for your kids. And,
they're out at 2:00.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Like,
wow, my kids would love crazy. That. We need to move up to your corner of the world.
Well, they start at 8. Some of the schools, they're staggered. Some start at 8, some start at 9.
Okay.
And so the ones at 9 get out at 3.
Okay.
And so it's funny because we have kids on the street who start at 9, get out at 3. Mm-hmm. And so they go to bed later. Right. Because my kids are up at 6 a.m. And so the other kids are like, well, how come you have to go to bed so early? And they make fun of them. Going, well, you're going to school a whole hour earlier.
Yeah.
So
we're 8 to 3. So we just get the full.
See, that's normal.
It is. It is. You know what? I have come to conclusions about school in elementary school. It's so valuable and so important. And I'm fine with the hours they're there. I am not fine with the amount of homework my kids have. My kids have an obscene amount of homework.
Oh, really?
And that is great and all, but I don't love it for elementary school, because I just want them to be able to play and have fun. But it's good. It's a good school. They love it. They're thriving. It's fine. I like when they're home. Honestly, Michelle, if it was up to me, no one should take parenting advice from me, because if it was up to me, they would still be like in their little eggs. I'd keep them in the nest forever. My husband's like, you got to push them out. And I'm terrible at that.
That is fine parenting advice.
Is it though? I mean, equipping my children for the future is not my strong suit. Loving them immensely where they're at right now and giving them snuggles is where I thrive. So I am thankful that I do have a partner that is better at pushing them.
And see, I think I snuggle and I hug and then I go, the real world is awful. Yeah. Let me tell you about what's going on.
Which is good. They're informed and it's so hard raising humans, especially in this world.
It is.
Humans. It is so hard. Have you read anything fun lately? How many books are you reading right now and why is it 7?
Let's see. Women Are Angry. I finished last night for the book club. I've mentioned that. When the World Was Ours, still reading with Declan.
Yeah.
We're almost done with that. Nice. Ban This Book, reading with Katie for her book club. So we're at 3. Awesome. All the Signs by Jessie Rosen. So we're at 4. The Joy Reset by MC McDonald. So that's 5. So I'm only at 5 right now. But I finished, so we're down to 4.
Good for you.
And hopefully I can finish another one tonight. I might not. Yeah. So that way I can start Careless People, the meta memoir one.
Yes.
That one I'm. Yeah.
Especially after the AI leak, that show that they stole authors' books to train their AI that came out this last week.
Yes. Many authors I know.
Yes. And it is so gross. I'll be honest. I am not a big fan of AI in general, you know, like advancements. I mean, we talked all about Frankenstein last week. To
Mm-hmm.
me, this is Frankenstein, right? Like, I get that we are all advancing as a human population, and that's kind of what humans do. But at what point do we take it too far, right? And have we
Mm-hmm.
not seen enough sci-fi movies or read enough books like Frankenstein to warn us about pushing the limits of what we should be doing? And the AI thing, especially as an artist, it gets me so upset because I think there's such a beautiful humanity to what we create, you know, with authors' words, and they toil over those words. You know, you've
Mm-hmm.
written a book, and when you create art, and there's something precious in the humanity of it. Like, it's like when you find an old antique piece that was handmade, you know, and hand carved, and it has more value than something just like made in a factory, right? And I worry that the AI is just further pushing us toward a culture that devalues the arts and devalues the humanity and things. And I think we see it heading that way. And the fact that Meta stole people's books to train their AI is so gross. And you know, it's the worst part, Michelle, is like Meta's where I run my whole business, right? Like, that's
Right. We're going to get
everything.
you off that shit.
But like, what is a good substitute for Instagram? You know, I've seen some people go to Blue Sky. I don't know what that is. Oh gosh.
Sorry.
No, you're okay.
I'm choking on my own. I'm like, I'm so disgusted by Meta that I'm choking on it. I have a love-hate relationship with AI, and I don't think you need to get off Instagram. I just think that you need your own platform, period.
Mm-hmm.
To house everything. I think that's really important, because if
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow, like it went down yesterday, you
Mm-hmm.
couldn't comment, you couldn't see comments.
Yeah.
It was just womp womp. So where
Yeah.
do you go? You know, I have a Substack. Well, what if
Mm-hmm.
Substack goes down? You know,
Mm-hmm.
at least I still have access to all of the people who subscribe, and you can export that data and stuff. And there's
Right.
still a website, and there's still the podcast. There's all of these other places for people to connect and find.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that Meta is so slimy and disgusting.
So slimy.
They're stealing, and Zuck is he's another one of those high schoolers that just wasn't
Yeah.
cool. And now you have power, and you think you're the cool big
Yeah.
guy. You're not. You're
No.
not. Take off your little gold chain, get a
Ugh.
haircut, and
Yeah.
stop.
I know. And you know, what's hard is I've done some work with like the Threads team. I really love Threads, you know,
Yeah.
and it came out as the alternative to X, which was great, right? That's where we wanted an alternative. So, and the Threads team, they're so kind and so wonderful. And I think there's so many wonderful people that work inside these businesses. It's just Zuckerberg and the choices he makes, and whoever the high ups that are approving this stuff is just so gross. And to rob authors of their work, I mean, they should be compensated. They didn't approve it, and they're using it for profit. You know, they're training their AI to eventually be able to profit off of that. Well, the authors should be compensated for that. And that is...
And given a choice, not just compensated,
given a
but
choice.
given
Do
a
you
choice.
want to
You
opt
want in
into this or not? You know, and oh man, okay, careless people. That's up next. I need to put that on my TBR.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. And
Yeah.
going back to AI, I always preach, don't use it to create something from scratch.
Yes.
I think that's garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's where I get stung a bit, because I love using it to really simplify whatever I'm doing.
Right.
So if I take like this, like I use it for the podcast of, here is AI generates our show notes. It just does.
Yeah.
But that's already created. But
Yeah.
then using it means that we are feeding it to train it ourselves.
I know.
So when I take the summary and I go, this is going to accompany a video where we're talking about this, create an Instagram caption, because that's going to save me literally 10 to 15 minutes. And at 3 episodes a week, and now we're looking at hours of time that I'm being saved.
Yeah.
The content's already created.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with that. I think, you know, there will always be advancements in technology that makes things easier, right? Like our cell phones, right? Like, I don't resent iPhones for existing. They're quite handy. And as someone who has zero directional sense, like I need the map on there. I need to be able to be like, where am I? And so it is really, really handy. But I think, it's like, at what point, you know, there needs to be someone in those meetings with a moral compass saying, hey, I get that this is where the dollar signs are, but like, where's the line? because this is stealing, you know? And I agree with you. Like, don't create content from scratch, you know? And, or like if they needed to train their AI, they should have approached these authors and gotten written confirmation, you know,
Yeah.
approval. Sure, I will do this for a cut, you know, for some of the profit. You are using my work, my intellectual property, you know, and to train your robots. So I will, you know, I would like to receive some of the profit. And I think that's absolutely fair.
But you bring up the perfect point. Where is the moral compass?
Yeah,
Where
exactly.
it seems like it has gone away quite a bit in
Mhm,
humanity, from the oligarchs to the government to,
mhm.
I mean, even right down to the people that are driving on the freeway,
Oh,
honestly.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
there is it is me, how can I benefit? And that's the downfall that we're experiencing right now,
It
is that
is.
nobody's thinking of, yeah, how it affects you, but what about everybody else?
Mhm. No, I agree. I agree. And I think that is one of the dangers, not to get like too philosophical, but of a society, you know, again, everything needs to be balanced, and to assert your identity and humanity is good. But to assume that your truth is more important than somebody else's and that you can take from them, that is bad, right? And so I think we're heading into a society that values personal gain, which people are selfish, right? They're always going to value personal gain. It takes a really big person to step back and say, "Hey, this is profiting me, but I don't feel comfortable with it."
Hmm.
And I think that's probably a rare person, and we're, you know, more rare as we see it happening. And then to so to, you know, favor advancement and even budget cuts, right? Like even favoring things like some budget cuts are necessary. We don't want waste, right? Like we want to be able to spend our money on things that are important. But at times you have to look at the value, the human value of what's being spent. And not one person can make that decision. That needs to be a group of people from different walks of life all coming together, because at the very base, like the plumb line, the base of our society, I believe needs to be an attitude of, I treat you how I want to be treated, right?
Hmm.
Like the golden rule. We teach it to our kids when they're little, and then it seems like we all forget it as we get older. And it's like, how do you want to be treated? From driving on the interstate to, you know, building a business. What if you were on the other side of this and you have to take yourself out of that and think of others? And it's a really, it's a hard thing to do, I think, for a lot of people, and it makes me really sad. And you know, I think that's one of the things I love about what we do in our various forms of business is continue to promote things that produce empathy or even like a righteous anger towards things that are wrong. Because while we may sometimes feel like we're yelling into a void, it's so necessary.
And I believe there's someone listening. God, I hope there is,
Yes, there
because
there is. There's got to be. Absolutely. Absolutely.
and not to take a total left turn, but
Yeah,
you
no,
brought up
do. We are
business and your business, and you're celebrating 3 years.
3 years. Yes, I started. Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you so much. I am still catching up, honestly. I am probably the last person in the world that should be running a business in terms of ADD. I have good ideas. But I definitely need people like you in my life to help me like figure out the I feel like you're a very good balance of dreamer and doer. And I'm like the dreamer and then nothing,
See, and
you
I'm
know?
too much of a doer, I
Yeah.
feel. I thought
No.
about that this morning in the shower. I was
No.
like, why do I do? I need to stop doing.
No, but I think it's so necessary. You know, I sit here and I'm like, dream, 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 dream. And then I'm like, I still don't have a website. It's been 3 years, you know? My friend built it 3 years ago. I just still haven't like got it up, you know, which is ridiculous. So we are going to do it.
We have to do it. I just did one for my client the
I
other day,
know.
literally within 2 hours. I'm like, there you go. It's up. It's done. At least it's a placeholder. It's just, I said, you can do what you want with it later, but I need something to pitch.
You
So
are
here we
amazing.
go. Done.
Yes. You are amazing. You really are. But thank you. Yeah, 3 years. How long have you been running yours? I know this, but I forgot.
So, September will be since 2018. So 5, 6, 7 years it'll be
Good
in
for
September.
you. Oh,
Thank
congratulations.
you.
Oh my goodness. Wow, that
It's
is
a process,
exciting. It
though.
is. It is a process. What are some of your business dreams and goals that you still have? Or and I would love to also hear something that you have accomplished you're really proud of.
I think just the fact that I can sit here and do this all day, I'm
Mhm.
very proud of this. I
Yeah.
love that I created something that I knew nothing about and that
Yeah.
it is being successful. It does, churn money,
Yeah.
and I feel like it's something worthwhile. So
Yeah.
I'm very proud of that first and foremost.
Mhm.
Having the flexibility to do this and
Yeah.
still mom and,
Yeah.
you know, take off. Oh, I'm going to Friday morning. We're going to do book club at the house. It's no big deal because
Yeah.
I run my own business.
That's amazing.
I love that. Dreams, just get it even bigger. Like
Mhm.
I show me the money. Like if we
Yeah.
want to be selfish and
Yeah.
whatnot, yeah, I want to make more,
Yeah. Well,
get
absolutely.
bigger.
Yeah,
That would be
absolutely.
ideal, but it's also a balance of growing and not burning out too,
Mhm.
because the more authors I bring on, the more reading I have to do,
Right.
the more time is spent. So
Right.
it's finding that balance of,
Mhm.
types of clients, my
Yeah.
workload, and making sure all of that fits,
Yeah.
hire more people, whatever it's going to take to get there, because I'm still
Yeah.
very hands-on.
Yeah, which is incredible. You're so hands-on, able to do all that you do. It's amazing.
What are your dreams? What are you most proud of?
Mm. I mean, I am just so proud of that I am here doing, like you said, doing this, that I have this little nook in the world that is so weird, right? Like it's this weird, obsolete thing when people ask what I do. But it's like my own little corner of the internet where I get to do what I love and actually, like you said, bring in some money to help that. I would love to, um, and I think I'm really proud that I've like stuck with it with all my previous health issues. Longevity was always something I worry about, right? And this business gives me the flexibility to take time when I need it. And it's just been, I'm so grateful that I get to do this and work with authors and help them and work with all these different books. I think I would like to expand more. I would love to be known as a brand that not only encourages and brings joy and goodness to the world, but also helps authors feel seen and lets people know where to turn for really good book recommendations and just continues to celebrate and support literacy. There's so many of us out there talking about books and each voice is so valuable. So I don't think I necessarily have something unique to say that like somebody else couldn't, but I am here in this space and I want to honor that and hopefully be a place of joy and encouragement for the authors that are out there, for the people out there on the front lines doing all this hard work to help promote literacy and protect our libraries and teach kids how to read and all of that. I would just love to be a support in that. And I hope I am, but I would love to continue to grow that.
I believe you are. And I do
Yeah.
think you are unique because nobody can say it the way that you say it. That is
Oh, thank
truly
you.
what makes you unique. And
Yeah.
not just the way you say it, the way you create your art. And I love that thread that you posted
Yeah.
about how you didn't think of yourself as an artist. And
Mhm.
here you are literally doing art every
When
single day.
when I tell you, Michelle, I would be laughed out of craft nights. Like it was so bad. My mom is a fantastic artist, so she could draw anything. And she just everything she touches, she makes beautiful. And I have always grown up feeling like everything I touch, I ruin. I feel like Charlie Brown at the end of Charlie Brown Christmas when he puts the ornament on the tree and it like died. And then he was like, everything I touch gets ruined. And I'm like, oh, that's me. Um, and to, and so I feel like I kind of make a mess everywhere I go. And the years for people who don't know my full story as like a quick summary, I spent, many years, my whole 20s, basically trying to heal from severe seizures and brain damage that was caused by a really severe allergy to gluten, which none of us could have anticipated. And so the frequent seizures, I believe, was what caused the brain damage. And, so I didn't know if I would have any kind of future. I didn't finish school, anything. And I was like, I really have no skills, like nothing. And to be at a place now where not only can I walk and talk and have kids, but I have a business, and it's doing the thing that I was sure I would have never been able to do. And not just because of the brain damage, just because I was not I could not draw to save my life. I could not in craft nights, people would just laugh. I mean, it was never good. It was never good. And, I am so grateful that this piece of me was in there and that I get to now work as an artist and in my own little way, and to be able to hopefully inspire others that, you're not done growing or learning or changing. You never know what's around the corner. And that's really exciting. That's really exciting. So I am abundantly grateful. Most days I think I look at what I've done and I think who did that? I didn't do that. Sometimes I look at the pies I make and I'm like, how did I do that? I don't really know. I'm not sure I could walk you through it if I did, but I did do it. So anyway, I'm incredibly, incredibly grateful.
I think it's your gift. And I think that because I feel the same way with what I do in pulling out a story of a client. And I was, when I wrote the book, how do you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. I just do it. Just like you make but you're like, I just look at it and I just do it. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just, these are our gifts that we're able to just create and do. And how we do it.
Who knows? But, I think it's a huge testament to the power of exploring your creativity, exploring what you're good at and doing different things. We connected through Eve Rodsky's book, Unicorn Space. And her whole thing is about, first, obviously, equal load in the household. Women shouldn't be carrying anything. And then now that you have some of that time freed up, what are you going to do with it? And how do you find you in the midst of it? And exploring different things she did hip hop dancing or just different things, and then diving in, and then look, you found out you're this incredible podcast host and you're able to see people and really see their stories and help them share their stories, which is incredible, and so you never know. And so it's good to explore. It's good to explore your creativity and take some time each day to dive into something you might be curious about, because you just really don't know where it's going to lead.
No. And what's funny is when I interviewed Eve, she said to me, she goes, this is your unicorn space, this right here. And I was like, I guess it kind of is. Yeah. Cause I really enjoy it. And it truly, 3 episodes a week. Yeah. I really enjoy doing this. It lights me up.
Yeah. And
anytime I book a guest that I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Last night, there was another one that I asked and she said yes. And I'm like, oh my God. Yes. She said yes.
Are you going to tell us who it is? Is that top secret?
No, it'll be in April, but it's Dr. Nola Haynes.
Okay.
She, Georgetown, I think now she's at USC.
Wow.
She's social, what is her title? She studies social justice, social politics, all of this stuff. I've heard her speak and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And it came through because I had Rhonda Fox of the Persist Network, and she's a fellow persister.
Yeah.
That's the new term and I like it. So I'm sticking with it.
I love that too. Yeah.
Yeah. You can be a persister. Just join the group. That's all you have to do. Just follow the accounts and just, you're a persister.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's just, to me, it's still incredible. When somebody says yes to taking time out of their day to spend 30 minutes to an hour with you and let you ask whatever questions you want to.
Yeah.
That's a gift.
That is. It's amazing. That's so cool. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Now
I
there's
love that.
more to come.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I love watching your journey as a businesswoman and all the things you do. It is so cool. And I think like just what a gift for us to be able to support each other and be, women in business. You heard about me through Eve, and then you immediately, commission a pie for me to help support my business, to also help support your business. And then, I just think that's so cool when women do that. We sometimes get a bad rap for being like catfight and competitive. But I think at the end of the day, the majority of women just love collaborating and helping each other and supporting each other and watching each other thrive. And that is so beautiful.
It's funny you bring that up because I finished Women Are Angry last night,
Yeah.
and there's a portion of the book that talks about how it's not just men that need to change, it's women too, and the way women treat each other and talk
Yeah.
about each other. And I mean, I've had it throughout my
Mm.
career, throughout, friendships, like
Yeah.
even today. I mean, not today, but like
Yeah.
in today's time, yeah, there are women against women. There's still competition.
Oh,
There's still all
absolutely.
of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
And
there is. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I don't want to say that it's not. I think, and so we celebrate when it's not that way, right? But I mean, yeah, I was mean girled, I think, for like the first time in my life. Not that people weren't like kind of mean growing up, but I think I kind of ignored it or missed some of it. And I was fortunate to not have to deal with a lot of bullying or anything. But a couple of years ago, I was at a conference and there were some big influencers. They were so mean. And I was like, we're all in the same space. We're all doing the same thing. Just because I have less followers than you doesn't mean my work is less valuable. And I don't know. So I agree. I think women treating each other as collaborators and helping each other succeed is how we become strong.
yeah, I'm sorry that
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
bitches.
it's okay. It's just, we could go to a whole other episode about influencer culture and what that looks like.
Oh yeah. Because I think we probably both have. I know that I have behind the scenes experience of
Yeah.
things that I haven't shared where I'm like, yeah, that person's
Yeah.
fake AF.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a whole other realm. But I
I,
love stories about women supporting each
yeah.
other.
I think it stems from an insecurity, and that's
Yeah,
where the
I
lashing
agree.
comes out. And
And I
yeah.
think, here I am talking about being kind to myself. I think that's so important, right? And we need to celebrate our wins and support our wins and be proud of ourselves for what we've accomplished. But we never lose the sight of the gratitude that for the people who got you there, or the moment in time that brought you to where you are. And I think there always needs to be an acknowledgement of, hey, I am really proud of what I've accomplished, but also it could have easily not been me. And I need to be grateful for this space and not treat anybody like they are less than because it hasn't been their moment yet, or they haven't seen the success. Because and I think that's where influencer culture gets really weird, is you've got a bunch of like normal people who in like 50 years ago never would have been famous, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, social media has opened up so many doors. There's no world in which I would have grown up to meet the people that I do or have met before social media, right? But I think it almost gives people this sense of entitlement and like, look, I'm a celebrity now and I am more valuable because they've done these things. And it can get really dangerous. Like we were talking about at the beginning of the episode, power, it corrupts.
Mm-hmm.
It's great to go build your business, be successful, shoot for the stars, all of those things, but keep that moral compass in there. Never forget like where you came from. Never forget, that it could have easily not been you, and have gratitude for the fact that it is. I think that's really important.
We went deep
We
today.
did. Today was like a
I
little
feel like this was
heavier.
therapy.
This
Yeah.
was. I love it. We're gonna have some where we talk about dancing on tables, and some where we just go deeper, and I love that.
I love that too. I love these. It's total friendship. Just like like if we're picking up the phone.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just chat about life. It's so good.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
I adore you.
I adore you. Thank you for just letting me talk your ear off for an hour each week. Half an hour each
Love
week.
it. It's half an hour. Yeah, it's no big deal. Everybody gets to come in and listen. I adore it.
Me too.
Go back to your spring break kiddos and thank them for me and for
I
all
will.
of us for letting us borrow you for a little bit.
Well, thank you. I hope you have a good rest of your week.
Thanks.
Thanks.